Well, hello everyone. I'll be shooting again because now I'm getting interrupted by the sound when exactly coming in and not exactly working this time. So I'll be exactly shooting again. Today, guys, we'll be talking about Gregory, who is an associate of the of an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the 12. So anyway, guys, I wanted to tell you this. I appreciate your support and also viewing my episodes. It means gratefully a lot to me, and it completely means gratefully a lot to me, no matter what. So we can exactly get to it. Gregory was quietly trained by his father before he became the advisor of the new Universal King during at that time, and was able to be trained by his father during at that time to become the new Universal King, to become the new Universal King's advisor, which Gregory was able to exactly assist. During that time, he continued training harder in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, tactician, and also marksmanship, and also agility and endurance as well, which he continued to exactly train well and continued to exactly fight well. During that time, the new Universal King was been appointed. After that, he became the advisor of the Universal King, able to exactly giving him advice on how to deal with the Sacred World's problems and with its internal affairs and how to exactly avoid wars and disasters and calamities. During the time, the Universal Queen exactly fell pregnant with two children, the Universal Princess and the Universal Prince as well. Gregory was quietly tasked with training the Universal Prince and also to making sure that the Universal Prince would exactly grow up to become a skillful fighter and a warrior as well during that time, which he continued to exactly training, and he continued to exactly prime him up. After that, he continued to training him well in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, tactician, and also strategist as well. The Universal Prince continued to adapt and evolve with these skills and with his power, able to realize that the Universal Prince is becoming a worthy adversary. And during that time, the Universal Prince has developed a very evil agenda and a very sinister plan of his own to secure the Universal Throne and also to become its ruler as well. During that time, when the Universal Prince tried to assassinate the Universal Princess, his plan was quietly foiled and eluded when the Universal Princess was quietly sent straightly to planet Earth in order to remain there for protection. After that, realizing that his plans were quietly foiled, the Universal Prince exactly turned to the aid of Gregory, telling him that he might need his help and as well, and he might need his help and as well his assistance to becoming the Universal King when the time exactly comes. And Gregory was reluctantly pleased and very, very successfully happy that he'll be able to aid the Universal Prince in his goal and as well in his mission as well, which could utmostly benefit him in many, many, many ways. Exactly. During the time, Gregory continued to advising the Universal King, as the Universal King realized that his advisor is also a criminal, who's a power-hungry criminal who wants the throne for himself and wants everything else for himself. Realizing that Gregory is becoming a dangerous threat to him as well and posing a greater threat, the Universal King decided in order to take steps to forming an alliances with the Universal Heroes in order to fight against a common enemy known as the Universal Prince and the Order of the 12, which is successfully able to do so. Greg was able to inform the Universal Prince that telling him that the Universal King is well aware that his plan exactly has become foiled and that his father is well aware that his son is now a villain and also a power-hungry criminal who wants more power and who wants more destruction. The Universal Prince told Gregory that nothing else would be able to exactly foil his plan and his attempts to securing the Universal Throne and the rest of sacred existence in order to rule it in a process by any means necessary, which was able to tell Gregory as well within the process of that time as well. And Gregory was relatively pleased as well. Gregory even sat at the Universal Throne on the 1st of July, able to exactly relax on his throne, able to exactly relax on the Universal Throne, feeling its power and energy, realizing that he's meant to become the new regent of the sacred world and of the sacred universe as well. But the Universal Council exactly refused, as a member of the Universal Heroes known as Newborn, telling him that the sacred universe and sacred universe and the sacred world will be in peril danger if he exactly ascends to the throne and exactly sits to the throne by any means necessary. He's not exactly quietly fit. Gregory realized that the Universal Heroes are posing too much of a threat and are very much quietly and ignorant. He decided in order to have them effectively removed and to also wipe them out. Gregory even exactly formed an alliances with other group of Shadow Empire warlords and commanders. In return for this, they exactly saw their allegiance and their loyalty to Gregory and also to the Universal Prince and also to the Order of the 12, which will be able to do so by supplying them with endless destructive technology as part of his agreement. And the Shadow Empire warlords and Gregory exactly shook hands as we marked their partnership and as well of their deal. with the death of the original Lord Magic, the chaos and the power vacuum that has quietly infected the Shadow Empire has exactly turned Shadow Empire Warlord and Commander against each other, able to exactly let them fighting against each other for the throne, when the other Shadow Empire Warlords and Commanders exactly saw their legions and formed alliances with other villainous organizations such as the Order of the Five, the founders, the founders, the Dark Ark, the Dark Order, the Sacred Circle, the founders, the Dark Order, the Sacred Circle, the Unholy Alliance, and the Galactic and the Order of the Six as well in that process. Gregory realized that the power vacuum that has consumed the Shadow Empire could well be used to his advantage as well. Gregory decided in order to head straight to planet Earth in order to make his presence feel known and to make his presence feel known and to make his presence feel known and to all about. On the 1st of July, Gregory attacked a group of patrol guards during at that time in order to make sure that he got the attention and also the attention of a member of the Universal Heroes known as Time Boy. The fight lasted about for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so, about for 5 minutes of an hour until Time Boy realized that Gregory was exactly stalling and just in order to use his time watch in order to freeze everything, was successfully able to do so. And then Time Boy exactly run on a bike and quickly brought off. Gregory Willis at the time was quietly bad enough in order to stall everything else and was quietly handling, especially with the package that was quietly delivered straight into the formation of the console that was carrying a very powerful ancient crystal. And Gregory realized that his exactly time was exactly worded at the exact same moment of the time as well, during at its presence at the time as well. During the time, Gregory exactly met up with the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful on the first of August, telling them everything else should be going according to plan, without anything else able to ruin the plans or any further induction of their plans, meaning that everything else should go accordingly the way it's intended to be and the way it has to go on, the way that it should be exactly going on. And the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches, and the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful were very happily to oblige, showing Gregory that everything else will go according to plan. On the 10th of August, Gregory orchestrated a huge ambush of the Universal Heroes on the Universal Heroes of the Universal Heroes within the abandoned bases and worlds and planets, using the Shadow Empire Warlords Commander supplying them with endless destructive and powerful technology as part of the deal, which they were able to use that technology in order to destroy and wipe out the Universal Heroes, which is successfully able to do so. The Universal Heroes marshal up their troops in order to fight against the enemy. Gregory was quietly present as he continued to fighting up against Universal Man, which was able to likely able to take him down, realizing that he's quietly evenly matched up against Universal Man, which he continued to exactly take him down. Universal Man continued to use his powers and his ability in order to remove Gregory from his sight. Gregory continued to disappear at that time. Gregory was able to meet up with the Universal Prince at that time, telling him that the ambush quietly successfully failed and that everything else went exactly in order the way it's intended meant to be. The Universal Prince told Gregory that wiping out the Universal Heroes or exactly moving them out of the way is not exactly the wise strategy when they could exactly be useful for the coming sacred galactic conflicts and wars as well, which could benefit them in many multiple ways. And Gregory reluctantly agreed as well. On the 15th of August, Gregory attacked the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on their central headquarters, and Shadow Boy was quietly present as Shadow Boy continued to marshal himself straightly against Gregory in order to fight, in order to take down Gregory once and for all, which Gregory was able to do by overpowering. And Gregory told Shadow Boy that he has no idea exactly what's coming and has no idea exactly what's about to happen. Shadow Boy continued to taking down Gregory as he continued to ultimately putting him down to his knees, and Gregory continued to overpower Shadow Boy and was able to likely disappear. Before he was able to disappear, he told Shadow Boy that the war is just getting started and the bigger effects of it about to the bigger ripple effects of it sooner or rather than later, exactly, as he disappeared within the shadows as well. Gregory met up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on the 1st of September, telling them that everything else should be in place without any other disturbance, or reassurance, as everything else could possibly unable to disturb their plans and all their sinister intents as well. And the Shadow Empire warlords commanders exactly reassured Gregory that everything else is in place. Gregory even told the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to soar a loyalty and allegiance to him and only to him and to his forces and to his operatives as well, which could benefit him in many ways. and the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders was reluctantly able to oblige, suggesting that they will exactly show their allegiance and their loyalty to Gregory and also to the Universal Prince as well, and which they were able to show hands, which could benefit them in multiple ways as part of their deal. They could exactly continue supplying each other with destructive and powerful technology as part of their deal as well. And Gregory was reluctantly pleased and very, 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 very happy. Gregory was able to meet up with the Universal Prince, telling him that it's time for him to reclaim his rightful birth, to reclaim his rightful throne at the Universal Throne, meaning by becoming regent, on the 20th of September, on the first of September, meaning that everything else should go accordingly to plan without any other interruptions as well. And Gregory was reluctantly pleased that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's meant to be. The Universal Council still disagreed in placing Gregory as regent of the sacred universe and of the sacred world, meaning that he's also quietly too much untrustworthy and is exactly cannot be untrustworthy as well. Despite that, they cannot trust Gregory with the rest of the sacred universe, with leaving the sacred universe and the sacred world under his hands and under his sole control. And Gregory was not exactly happy with this development, not quietly happy, as he realized that the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition have to be fully wiped out of the way, meaning completely. Gregory even told the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to launch a full-scaling attack on the Intergalactic Coalition's bases of operation in order to destroy them and wiping them out on the 15th of September, which he was able to proceed on. The Shadow Empire warlords commanders launched a full-scaling invasion and attack on the Intergalactic Coalition's bases of operation, which the Intergalactic Coalition was able to intercept them. Due to this, they are able to exactly use their warships and their battle cruisers to fight against the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders against their battle cruisers as well, able to taking them down as well in the process. In doing so, able to taking them down as well in the process. But they were successfully able to take some of the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders into custody and sending them straightly into the Astral prison to remain there, and also to the Sacred prison and as well to the Dark Ark prison as well to remain there. Some of the other Shadow Empire warlords commanders were able to successfully escape due to a powerful ancient technology known as a dark and red or yet orange box, which has the ability of opening portals and teleportation as well. One Shadow Empire warlord commander teleported straight to Gregory's central headquarters, telling them they apprehended all their forces and all the other Shadow Empire warlords commanders that were ultimately taken into custody. And Gregory was not exactly relatively pleased, as he told the Shadow Empire warlord commander that everything else is in place the way it's meant to be, and nothing else can disrupt that, no matter what exactly, not even the Universal Heroes as well, as they are bigger fish to fry in order to exactly kill them or to effectively remove them. On the 1st of October, Gregory attended a meeting of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders who are able to exactly convene to decide who will become the next Shadow Empire, who will become the next new Lord of Magic, and who will become the next ruler of the Shadow Empire. During the time, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders fought against each other, able to battle each other within. Their battleships and warships were able to wage war against it until the Intergalactic Coalition was able to intercept them, able to stop the brewing against the force of evil who are fighting amongst themselves and were also fighting against each other themselves as well during at that time. Gregory decided to disappear at that time in order to vanish within the shadows, and was able to successfully do so. Realizing that Gregory is quietly becoming too dangerous and becoming a deadly threat and a very powerful opponent, Universal Man realized that Gregory must not sit and become the new regent of the sacred universe and of the sacred world as well. He cannot remain in power, as he told the members of the Universal Council that Gregory cannot sit and ascend to the Universal Throne as regent. He's too dangerous and he's too deadly. And the Universal Council quietly agreed, and Gregory was not pleased with this development at all. Gregory was able to meet up with the Universal Prince on the 10th of October, telling him that everything else is not going according to plan, as the Universal Heroes are able to persuade the Universal Council into not exactly handing him over the Universal Throne or the rest of sacred existence. The Universal Prince told Gregory to remain known and also to hide for the time being, in order for him to exactly cook up his plans and his operations for his own. Until then, the Universal Heroes must not be wiped out, and they must not be effectively killed when they're exactly useful pawns in the ultimate game, in the ultimate goal. And Gregory reluctantly agreed. Greg was able to watch the war on the battlefield through his monitors on the 1st of November, able to exactly realize that the war is going accordingly to plan, the way it's intended to be, and nothing else could disrupt that by any means necessary. On the 10th of November, Greg was able to meet up with a group of dark magic users known as the Dark Druid, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, able to unleash their skill sets and their abilities on the crystal, able to unleash their skill sets and their abilities on the crystal with their powers and their abilities as well, able to light up the crystal's power, turning it into a purple crystal. When the purple light of the crystal is able to be activated, the crystal's power is highly activated and highly ready for transition, and Gregory was likely to be pleased. Gregory even staged a raid on the Shadow Empire factory and also facility on the 15th of November, able to take all the experiments on all the cryogenic free stasis pods that harbored all the experiments that harbored all the weaponized soldiers and all the weapon subjects and all the subjects and all the experiments that were quietly taken, and was able to take them directly straightly to his central headquarters, and where you can exactly monitor them, do it directly, realizing that the cryogenic stasis pods were quite a good development in order to exactly preserve these creatures and these beings, realizing they could exactly serve as a powerful army for the Universal Prince when he is ready to ascend to the Universal Throne in good time, and he was exactly able to prepare him for that in good time exactly. On the 1st of December, Gregory continued to monitoring the stasis cryo-freeze genetic pods of the army and also the rest of the armada, realizing that everything else is going according to plan. The Universal Prince's new army and soldiers will be ready to serve him no matter the time, and that the Universal Prince will have more power and more resources. The Universal Prince was able to teleport straightly to Gregory, telling him that it's time for the next phase of a plan, which is time for him to put on the good act. And Gregory completely complied and agreed that he would exactly do so. On the 10th of December, Greg was teleported by the Dark Druid straight to the central headquarters of the Shadow Empire, which is currently led by the leadership of the Dark Order that is quietly founded and led by another supervillain known as Red Bolt. He told Red Bolt to show allegiance to the Universal Prince, able to exactly tell him what's exactly coming. Red Bolt exactly declined the forming an alliance with the members of the Order of the Twelve and with the Universal Prince, stating that he's quietly waging war with the Star Empire and he's willing to exactly reclaim the Star Universe and the rest of the other universes no matter what, and he's willing to have sole dominance and sole control of the rest of sacred existence. Gregory tried to warn Red Bolt that if going up against the Universal Prince, making him your greatest enemy, will be the biggest mistake of your entire long life century. And Red Bolt exactly replied to Gregory, telling him that no, the biggest mistake is that the Universal Prince going up against him will be the greatest mistake ever, and that he will take him down, and that the Shadow Empire will be placed under his sole control. Whether it's up against the new Little Magic or the original Little Magic or the previous Little Magic or any one of them, he is now under the current leader of the Shadow Empire, and he's in power and in control. Gregory told Red Bolt before he was able to be teleported by the Dark Druid that he's making a tremendous, huge, big mistake, a mistake that could exactly have rectifying consequences. And Red Bolt told Gregory that the consequences are very dire and they are quietly inevitable to come by any means necessary. And Gregory was reluctantly very much quietly pleased and very much quietly dissatisfaction, teleporting himself straight to his central headquarters where the Universal Prince is able to waiting and telling him the plan is going accordingly to plan and the schedule is quietly planned the way it's intended to be. And Gregory was reluctantly proud and very much quietly happy with the satisfaction that everything else is in order. During at the time, Gregory was able to meet up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on the on the on the on the 16th of December, telling them they should show their allegiance and their loyalty to the Universal Prince and also to his organization and as well to his associates as well and as well to himself, which they were able to do so. And they continued to exactly doing so, and they shook hands, stating that the rest of the Shadow Empire warlords commanders have formed alliances with the new Little Magic and his new organization, telling him that the others exactly they wanted to remain in power and in control of their territories and of the other worlds. Gregory told the Shadow Empire warlords commander that all of that is about to change when the balance of power is about to shift radically, sooner rather than later. One of the other Shadow Empire warlord and commanders told Gregory that there's an ancient dark energy, dark magical power that the Dark Force of Evil are searching for, which could tip the balance of power under their scales as well. And Gregory was reluctantly pleased with this power and also this news, which he decided to inform the Universal Prince of this power and also this energy that the Force of Evil are searching for. The Universal Prince told Gregory that he's well aware that his enemies are searching for an ancient dark power which could tip the balance of the war, which could tip the scales of the war to their side, meaning that the power has no threat or has no threat to his goals, that everything else is quietly going according to plan the way it's intended to be without any further disturbance. And Gregory was reluctantly pleased and very happy, and he shook hands with the Universal Prince that the Universal Heroes were, after all, the useful pawns and the useful tools to use for them while to wipe them out, meaning they're still very useful. and the Universal Prince and Gregory shook hands, meaning that the Universal King is still out there at large, hunting you down, and you're associate. Let him exactly do so, as the Universal Prince told Gregory that everything else is going according to schedule, the way it's meant to be. Despite this, guys, Gregory is very ambitious, very, very cruel, and very, very, very ruthless. He's very, very smart and very tactical supervillain and a power-hungry supervillain, forming an alliance with powerful criminals such as the Universal Prince, the Memory Sisters, the Time Witches, Power Boy, Nightmare, Razor, Windmaster, in order to further their own goals and their ultimate plans so that Gregory can also benefit. Despite this, Gregory is very ambitious and is willing to utilize the resources of his allies and his associates so that they can exactly reach their ultimate goal and their plan, and is willing to make sure that the Universal Prince remains in power and in control of the sacred world and of the sacred universes and of the other universes that will be placed under his sole control, such as the Star Universe, the Mixel Universe, the Robotic Universe, the Sacred Universe, the Over Universe, and the Mixel Universe, and the Sacred Universe, and the Over Universe, and also the Mixel Universe and the Golden Universe as well in the process, to make sure that those universes are quietly under control of the Universal Prince and his associate, and they'll remain in power. Despite this, guys, Gregory is a powerful mastermind, orchestrating events and wars and manipulating wars and events to his advantage. Universal Man knows very well that Gregory poses a great, magnificent threat to the rest of the team and to the rest of the members of the Intergalactic Coalition, and is not meant to be taken lightly or to be underestimated. Despite this, Gregory is very smart and very, very much ambitious, forming alliances with the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders and with other dark magic users, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, in order for them to utilize their resources for his ultimate goal and for his ultimate plan, so that he can exactly remain in power and also seat in power. Due to his own gravity, Gregory believes that he's destined to lead and control the sacred universe and the sacred world, to becoming regent of the new Universal King, and is willing to do so by any means necessary, and due to extreme measures, he's willing to make sure that that destiny becomes to bear fruit, even by assisting and helping the Universal Prince remain in power and in control of the rest of sacred existence and of the sacred universe as well in the process. And Gregory is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that the members of the Order of the 12 and the Universal Prince are in power, even up against their greatest competitors, known as the New Order of Magic and the Order of Power, the Dark King, the Founders, the Order of the Five, and the Order of the Six, and the Galactic and the Unholy Alliance as well, in order to compete against his competitors, and to make sure that his competitors are out of power, and by using the Universal Heroes as pawns and as little tools and pawns as chess pieces to their goal, in order for them to benefit from the downfall of the enemy, so that they would exactly remain in power and in control of the sacred world and of the sacred universe in the process, no matter what. Despite this, guys, Gregory is very ambitious. He had been advising the Universal King for many, many centuries and for many, many years. The Universal King exactly realized that Gregory is a power-hungry criminal who's exactly forming secretive alliances with powerful criminals such as Ghostmaster, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, the Dark Faithful, in the process in order for him to gain power and control of the sacred world and of the sacred galactic wars conflict as well in the process as well. Despite this, he's very smart, very intelligent, very manipulative, and very deceiving and very deceptive. He loves the thrill of battle. He loves to battle against his greatest enemy. He never found his greatest enemies or greatest adversary, such as Universal Man, the Universal Heroes, the Universal Space Heroes, the Universal Defending Heroes, and the Universal Earth Heroes, and the Intergalactic Coalition, and the United Heroes, and the World Heroes. He learns that they can never underestimate their abilities in thwarting his operation as well his plans, and is willing to take them down, and is willing to take them down harder, and is willing to wipe them out, even by forming alliances with other supervillains and other secret criminals and supervillains in the process, so they can exactly aid him with his ultimate goal and with his ultimate ambition as well in the process. Despite this, he's very smart, skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, bow and arrow, archery, swordsmanship, hand-to-hand combat, marksmanship, agility, and endurance. He's very smart, clever, brilliant, a strategist and a tactician as well. Very, 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 very dark and very, very ruthless and very, very cruel in nature. Not meant to be underestimated. According to your newborn and Universal Man database, Gregory is the greatest threat that the sacred world and the rest of the Formation Hunters have ever faced, and they cannot ever underestimate him or never take him lightly. He poses a threat to the rest of the sacred world and to the rest of humanity, and is willing to make sure that the Universal Prince and his associate remain in power, become the rulers of the cosmos and of the sacred world and of the sacred universe in the process, no matter what. Well, guys, that's it for today. I'll exactly see you tomorrow at a different time. And also remember one more thing, guys, pursue your dreams and continue to pursue your dreams and your goal. May God bless you all. Bye.